Good morning, YouTubers. This is Abracadabra bringing you another little video that I thought I would do and do for you guys. It's really just a curiosity video, really, and it's just a question of how I can polish my knives up. I mean, these two, really. And first of all, I just want to say that if this is a completely unrehearsed video, like most of my, well, all my videos are like that. So if I appear to be rambling or there are any silent gaps, and I go I apologise for that. So the wax I'll be using. Well, let me explain the reason why I'm doing this video. I was going to buy some polish so I can kind of polish up my knives. As you know, I've got a knife collection which is steadily growing. I don't go mad, but I do. I don't trade or sell any of my knives, so it's just going to get bigger and not shrink. And you know, every collector wants his knives looking in really good condition. And so that's my reason for shelling out on some wax. And I was going to buy some, and then I thought to myself, well, I do happen to have some metal polish at home, which I've had for years. And this wax is I used it to polish the aftermarket exhaust that I put on my 300, and I do have some pictures of that, so I could probably, you know, hopefully I can pin them into this video so you can have a quick look and see what kind of a job it did. But I was quite impressed. It came up to a mirror polish. So I thought, well, why shell out more money on metal polish when I still have some left? And I haven't used this stuff for ages and ages. It must be, I don't know, it must be about 4 years I've had this stuff. And here it is. And maybe, you know, many of you might recognise it. It's the Magyar's all metal polish. And it is pretty good, I have to say. I haven't tested it on any of my knives, and I'm not this might be overkill for knives, but I don't know. I feel it's just really an experiment. I'm not saying I'm going to use this on my knife collection or anything, because I'd hate to use this on my knives and then mess them up. That would just break my heart. That would. But you know, I could use it on my knives, and it may not, you know, do anything except just polish them. It might just make them, you know, miles better. Who knows? I don't know. But this is only. I mean, this. I don't know whether this is just for car metals or not, or just all metals. Who knows? But you know, it's referring to. The diagrams are on there. I mean, that's you got your exhaust and your rims, and the exhaust bits and pieces and what have you. So I don't see any knives on there. So yeah, I'm thinking this is probably just you know, made for car metals and stuff. So, but I just thought you know, this is a knife that I use in, you know, in the kitchen. You've seen it on the previous video where I was just doing a little video of whetstones, ceramic whetstones, and I'm going to sharpen this knife on those stones at some point. I'll do a little video on that. But I just wanted to see how this polishes up with this wax. As you can see, it's a bit, you know, it's quite, you know, beaten up. I haven't looked after it. Oh, and I bought this knife not to use. I didn't, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, mollycoddle this knife in any way at all. I'm just going to polish it up and get out all those spots if I can, and see what this wax here can do. I might do the same on this knife. This knife is really beaten up. You've seen it on other videos as well. I'm not sure if it's got a focus. It may not want to. No. Oh, there you go. So you can see the scratches and the spots and things like that. If that wax can do a good job on this knife as well, then we'll try it and see what happens. So the instructions say, if I get off the instructions, oh actually before I do that, let me just give you a look inside, and that's what it looks like. It's solid, very kind of, I don't know how to describe the texture. It's kind of like a solid but has a paste, like a silky feel to it. And I just opened the pot, and I'm just getting the smell here. You need to use, if you're going to use something like this, you need to use this with plenty of ventilation, because it is quite pungent, and it has a very sweet smell. And but like I said, it is quite strong, and you really should be using this with plenty of ventilation. Get rid of the fumes. So I'll just polish that, put that cover back on. So yeah, so I'm just going to start polishing up this knife, and I don't know why I put the cap back on, so I'm going to use it now. So I'm just going to get some, it says put a dab of this wax on this knife, and you're supposed to, let's see, on both sides. I suspect I'm probably using it a little bit too much here. Like I said, when I was putting this on the exhaust was, it came up to like a mirror polish. It was really nice. I mean, if I can get under the car, I'll have to do the whole thing again, because over the years the exhaust has been on there. It's obviously the finish is dulled, and it's got little deposits clinging to it and things like that. So it'd be nice if I can get under the car and use this wax again, and get it up to a mirror shine. But let me see what these instructions say. It says, well, it says, well, let's read this bit first. Quickly and easily cleans and polishes all metal surfaces to a mirror bright shine. ESBs leave behind protective synthetic barrier to shield out moisture and contaminants. Anti-corrosive agents fight against environmental attacks and degradation. Cleans, polishes and protects in one step. I don't know what ESPs are, but not important. Directions: apply a small amount of product onto surface with a clean 100% cotton, terry cloth, towel or foam applicator. I suspect this is fine, and I've done that already. Rub onto surface until shine begins to appear. Wipe clean with 100% cotton, terry cloth, towel or microfiber. I'll use the reverse of this. Do not use on gold plating. Cautions: contains kaolin, I'm not sure what that is. Keep out of reach of children. Safety data sheet available for professional user upon request. Okay. Okay, well, let's get polishing. And I can see the cloth is getting dirty, which is a good sign. Yeah, see that? Gotten quite, oops, gotten quite dirty already, so you can see the, taking the dirt off. So it's working. I suspect I'm going to need a little bit more, so I'm going to put a little bit more on. I think I'll just leave the lid off. Maybe scrub a little harder. Just get it up by the heel of the blade. As you can see, I don't know if you can tell by the camera, it's starting to put on a bit of a shine. Getting off all those nasty little deposits. It's a good thing this thing isn't sharp. I would be cutting into my finger by now. It is coming up very, very nicely indeed. Let's get some more on. More dirt coming off. This is a different piece. Put the same dirt back on. Don't want to do that. These pieces down by the tip are going to be quite difficult to get off, I think. But I'll try and get them off and get it as buffed up as I can. I'll try and get it looking as new. I apologise if it's very boring watching me do this. I could say something interesting. I could talk about blade geometry. Stuff like that. Fill the time. Talk about my why I collect knives, and well, you know I collect cars as well. I don't know where my collecting what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know where my collecting urge, my collecting streak comes from. I suspect it comes from, I don't know, my dad's a bit of a collector of things. I think I said that already before in my previous videos. The deposits are coming off slowly. Slowly but surely they're coming off. And here's the thing with, I do remember now when I first got this wax to polish polish on my old the exhaust, the original exhaust that came with the car. That's what I bought it for, but the original exhaust was so it was so bad. I started to polish it. I didn't polish all of it. I just wanted to polish the rear pipes. But it was as soon as I started to polish it, there were bits of it flaking off. It obviously deteriorated so bad that it was literally falling apart. So that's when I decided to buy aftermarket exhaust, and when it arrived, it was a bit dull. The metal was a bit like, well, you know, needed a polish, and I used this polish on that, and it brought it up. I mean, amazingly shiny. I mean, it was, you could see your reflection in it. As you can see, it's still taken off a lot of dirt. But it's not like ink from the paper. I don't think it is. Yeah, so it's just a clean piece of cloth. I started rubbing it. It takes off that much. So I will carry on rubbing and see how far I can get with this thing. For you guys that are watching, you can probably tell me what wax do you use. If you use a wax to polish your knives with, you can probably, I don't know, maybe recommend some waxes that I could use to polish my collection with. I mean, maybe I could just use this, but I just suspect that it's a little bit too harsh for the metals. I don't know. I'm very dubious and very protective when it comes to my knife collection. So I'm gonna pull on something that I trust, something that's been proven and people use, and have been using for a while, and have had no complaints with it. Then I'll fork out and get it. But I just wanted to see how this performed. And like I said, some of you might say, well, this is perfectly good stuff, so use that. But and this stuff really smells. I'm going to open a window. That's better. Get some fresh air in. This knife I had for, I don't know, how long I've had this now. I had this knife for about, not a year yet. But I bought this, must be some, I don't know how long, maybe 7-8 months. And all I've been using this knife for is just, you know, kitchen utility stuff like, you know, slicing up vegetables and fruit and things like that. And all I've done after I've used it is just given it a rinse and put it back in the sheath. It's a very, very cheap knife, and I thought it was a bargain since it's carbon steel, and I think it was about £8, cost me £8. And I watched the video of the heavy duty knife, heavy duty version of this. This has a slightly, I think it has a slightly thicker blade than this has, if memory serves. And they put it through kind of a outdoor torture test. I think one guy stood on it, and this is not well, it's not full time, by the way. think it only goes part way into the handle. Now if I buy a fixed blade it's usually full tang, but you know, I don't think I could argue with the cost. You know, I think the heavy duty knife costs a little less than this. And like I said, they put it through its paces out in the forest and it held up very, very well. I think there's also a Swedish version called the Mora, or the Moira, which also holds up very well. You see, you can still take off more debris. My hand is starting to ache a little bit now, but the wax is bringing this off. It's bringing this up very, very well. But if you're going to do this, be prepared to do some scrubbing, and you need to rub pretty hard on this to bring out the shine and get all those nasty deposits off. See, still coming off. I think it's getting to the point now where I can start to probably buff up this. I'll start polishing this now. Find the clean bit of the cloth. Hand is aching quite a bit. Kind of reminds me when I first picked up the guitar, started to learn to play. Well, this hand that ached like crazy. This hand has to do all the fingering work and the fret work. All this hand has to do is just strum. So it kind of reminds me of what my hand used to kill, and my hand is killing right now. Let's give it a few more seconds buffing and we'll have a look at it and see what it's like. Okay. I have to say, on inspection, apart from a couple of blemishes that I can probably get out if I spend a bit more time on it. But it's brought it up very, very nice. Not bad, eh? You can probably see the hultafors. I'm not sure if you can see it, if it's going to focus, come on. Focus, there you go. And compared to how it was, it's not bad, is it? You can still see some deposits down by the blades, but that bevel, it's got some grooves in it, and once you've got oxidization and deposits that cling in there, they will become a little bit more difficult to get out. That's the other side. I'm not sure if you can see the blemishes, tiny little blemishes down by the tip. Bring a bit closer to the camera there, you see, just a few little dull marks I can probably get out if I just spend a little bit more time polishing. And this knife I'm gonna sharpen later with the new ceramic whetstones that I bought. And see what kind of shine I can bring up. What kind of an edge I can bring up on this blade. Yeah, so this wax, it's done a fairly decent job on this. It was pretty gnarly before with brown spots and stuff like that all clinging to it, but now it's come up a lot nicer. So, but whether I'll use that wax on my collection or not is another it's another thing entirely. I think I may probably just buy a proper knife polish and use that instead. But anyway, I may do the same with this. This is much more beaten up, as you can see. This has been through the wars. I've had this for years. I've done everything with this. I've cut boxes, and as you can see, I've tried to sharpen it freehand. That was a while ago. It's still got a little bit of an edge though. Still got its point. Still kind of has its point. Not broken off or anything I can tell anyway now. So yeah, but I'm happy with this actually. I'm happy with the way this has come up. So, for those of you that liked the video, then great. I'm glad you liked it. I just did it because I just wanted to see how well this wax works with it. And I'll take this away and sharpen it, and I'll do a video on that as well, and see how sharp I can get this thing, and see if I can get it better than razor sharp. Anyway, that concludes this video. Once again, thank you for watching, and stay safe and stay sharp.